To avoid of turning our qigong practice, Nei Gong practice or spiritual practice into some kind of diversion from life, we have to be practical about this. Life is quite complex. Sometimes challenges, they happen in our life, whether in a physical form, circumstances, illnesses, economical situations. It's not easy. Unfortunately, what we do sometimes with this kind of interest that we have, which I think is very noble actually, to try to find out something more about what we experience through the senses. I think it's a really unique thing that few human beings have, not everybody. As you can see by yourself, a small percentage of people actually turn their attention inwardly or look for something else more than buying a fancy car or having lots of money, all the rest of it. But however, sometimes there is an issue with this kind of too strict approach. I think that I came to understand actually in times that all the fixed ideas sometimes are not really that good. The middle way is always the best. We tend to become too much focused on the so-called spiritual experiences, mystical experiences, unique things that belong to some kind of different perception of what we usually perceive through the senses and on our daily living. And I want to pause a little bit on this because I think this is a great challenge. I'm actually making this video that hopefully will be helpful for some of us, just to have to doubt ourselves, which I think is a very healthy thing to do, because growth happens only when we actually challenge our habits, our way of seeing things. There is the possibility when we are fully empty to embark in a new process of personal development. And what I want to say is that sometimes looking for this kind of experiences, which might be appealing, may even be beautiful, amazing, they are temporary most of the time, might actually put on a wrong track. And when I mean wrong track, I really want you to understand that by using this word wrong, I mean that we lose contact with what it is practically here. I truly believe that regardless of what we do, whether it is Nei Gong, qigong, or some kind of other spiritual practice, we have to be practical about this. If our life does not improve in the way we face it, and we're just looking for an escape from reality, we're just looking for something that is gonna compensate this ugly, challenging experience of life. Of course, it's also beautiful and many beautiful things, but usually we turn towards this path when we want to fix something other than ourselves, or we want to improve our situation, or we don't like what we see outside, we want to look for something more. I think that really practicing with a diligent approach towards what we're doing, as I said, can be anything, and a more sober approach can actually bear more lasting results. And I will try to explain what I mean by this. In the beginning, when we start to practice maybe in a qigong, we are attracted by these superpowers, super abilities that, you know, they are just a consequence of doing the work and showing up every day to do what we're meant to do. And it's okay. It's okay because it's the interest that spark actually our motivation, our drive to discover more, achieve something more. The practice or the path at some point, I think it needs to turn a little bit more silent, more less attracted into these shows and external things. And we have to understand that it's more important to grow as human beings, that by knowing ourselves and exploring ourselves with this kind of practices is actually going somewhere. which most of the time this somewhere it's actually created up here. We don't even know what it is. We maybe see a demonstration, we imagine what might be, what the perception might be, or we might listen to a spiritual guru talking about blissful, beautiful states, and we might come up with some ideas. But the reality is that life is the greatest master that we have, the greatest teacher that we have. Because we wake up every day, we don't know what's going to happen, and we have to deal with it, as simple as that. And especially nowadays where things are changing fast due to the fast life that we have, innovations, communication, travels, things that were not here many years ago. Our mind and our ability to deal with things is decreasing. In fact, you can see lots of mental issues even in kids. You know, usually in the past kids were used to have fun and playing around, but now even them, they're having diseases and issues created by the lifestyle and the constant demand from the senses for an entertainment, for something happening out there. What we do when we commit seriously to a practice like Nei Gong, in my opinion, is actually developing some skills. Little bit like sharpening a knife, every day sharpening a knife. Sometimes it's not even pleasant to do that kind of work, but eventually that knife becomes more able to handle whatever you put on the table, right? More able to cut things, anything that is on the table. Somehow this comes from the fact that when we do this kind of practices, we get to know ourselves better. And it's not pleasant, as I might said in many other videos or content that you might have seen already. Sometimes it's not easy to practice, to do the work, because laziness and other destructive tendencies that we all have, they win. But eventually this overcoming of our habits, of our thinking, it develops some form of strength. And I think this is the moment when we really start to probably shift from the interest in those mystical experiences, those, when I mean mystical, I mean something that doesn't happen every day really, because we have a limited perception of life. So that moments that we might have a little breakthrough, genuine and not created by our mind, they start to have less value. Less value because we realize that everything is temporary. At the end of the day, we are here and we have to face life for what it is. And it's unpredictable, as I said. You know, we might work on our body every day and then we cross the road, we have an accident, we have to deal 2 years, 3 years with a bad body. So, but if we are really have committed ourselves to a path like this, what we develop, or we might develop, I think we all do that if we are consistent, it's this form of strength, which is going to help us in our daily living. For me, a path or a spiritual practice or a qigong or Nei Gong practice which doesn't translate in life is meaningless. Either on an energetic point of level, in means of sensations, perceptions, if they only happen during the practice, what's the point, right? What am I doing? I'm just deluding myself that I'm experiencing God knows what, but it doesn't happen during our daily living. It should, what we squeeze or what we take from the path actually should manifest in our daily living. In fact, if I can give you a piece of advice, I hope that you're watching till now. It's don't look for a special moment in your life. And I know I don't want to sound like guru, do whatever you want. I'm just here to tell you what I've understood for myself throughout the years. Don't look for special moments during your life. Look for how your mind is in your daily living. Look for how your body is in your daily living. Look for how your emotions are in your daily living. These are the metrics which we should be using to evaluate whether we are really growing in our life or not. And when we walk in this path in this way, this becomes clear. This becomes clear because we become like a flexible rock, let's say. That's why I think everybody should do this kind of exercises, not to do a Qigong really, but more to function better in life. And then if there is something more that can be explored, great. But I think the best outcome, or one of the best outcomes we can have with this kind of practices, is to deal with life in a better way. Because as we know, challenges, things happen out of our control. We don't have control here. We have control on the way we are. We can do something about it. We can fix the way we think, the way we feel, the way we act in the world, and eventually actually merge all those things together in a natural flow, which should be the ultimate goal, and it is actually the ultimate goal of any spiritual practice, and have a better life.
Before you go, I want to tell you that there is a new book available called Story of a Nei Gong Practitioner. It's a book that I wrote recently. It has been translated in 3 languages, in Spanish and in Italian also. It is a book that it's perfect, I think, for everybody practicing energy practices, whether you're doing Nei Gong or just qigong or some kind of energy practices. But also if you are a spiritual seeker, as I am and I was actually, for a long time, I think this book can provide great insight. If you want to check it out, there is also the audiobook available. This book at the moment is available on Amazon, so you can buy it everywhere in your country. And the audiobook has been distributed at the moment, so might be everywhere in a little time, in platforms such as Audible, Apple Books, all these kind of places. If you want to get it, you can also go on my website in the link below, and also in the web address that you see on this video, Nei Gong Jiaoshi Andrea /book, where you can get the audiobook and the book for a very special price, in the sense that you're gonna have also a promo code to use for your first Nei Gong class. So click the link, go there, check it out. I think it's worth it, and hopefully it's going to be useful for you for your energy practice journey. But not only that, it's a book that can really transform the way you think.